Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this video I will be showing you how you can recreate the simple packaging for a candle. And I've made an attempt to make it look a little luxurious brand called Misty, and as you can see that it's fairly easy to make, and I'll show you how that's done. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'll be opening up a new document. So for this video, I will be using this custom size document, which is 1000 by 1000 pixels, and I will be renaming my document to be candle packaging template. So in case if you want to use the same document size that I'm using, just type in the values in this width and the height option right here and change the dimensions to pixels from this drop down box below and click on create. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly brief you through. So you see these smaller squares inside, right? So this is the area where I will be adding all my graphics, and whereas the bigger square right here, this will be used for folding as well. So it's highly recommended that you leave a little space for you to add your graphics, so that when your template is getting folded, you do not accidentally fold any of the graphics that you have added, right? Because then it's not gonna look that great, and if it gets cut, it's going to look pretty bad as well. So that's why I've left a little space as well. And yeah, okay, it's coming back here. When I open my document, by default, as you can see that when you open your document, this layer 1 also opens up. So what I'm going to do is that I will be changing the name of this layers 1 right here. I'm going to double click on this and type out the word template. Okay, so I'm going to first make the body before I make the flaps, right? So I'll be going back to my rectangle tool and I let the fill and the stroke be the way it is. And right here in this box right here, I'm going to give in the values in the width and the height option. So my document was 1000 by 1000 pixels. So I'm going to type in the same right here. This 1000 by 1000 pixels. And I'm just going to drag my mouse, drag the document right here. And I'm going to first make the bigger the bigger squares first. So I'll select this, click on Alt to make a copy, get this one right here, and click on Ctrl+D. And I'll click on this, click on Alt again to make another copy right here. And now I'm going to make smaller squares inside. So I'm going to make smaller squares inside these. But first I need to give this document a fill as well. So I'll just click on Alt and just bring it right here. Okay, so I'm going to select everything, come over here to this object panel, go to path and click on offset path, and over here in this value I will be giving the value of -50 pixels, and if I click on OK, you can see that smaller squares have been made, right? So I'm going to select this again. I'm going to make a copy one on the top right here. So I'll select on Alt to make a copy and then just drag my mouse like that so that I can get a copy like that. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side as well. So I'll select this, I'll click on Alt to make a copy and drag my mouse right here at the bottom like that. So we've made this, and now Now that we've got the basic body, the only thing that is left for me to do before I add the graphic is to make the flaps. Right, so I'm going to use the rectangle tool again. I'm going to make this one rectangle right here. And let's see. Okay, so there is one rectangle on top like this. There is one rectangle over here. That. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and edit these first. So I'll start with this, and I'll use the direct selection tool to get a hold of this anchor point right here. And I'm gonna be using the shift and the arrow keys to bring this anchor point inwards once, twice, thrice. So I get a little slant like that, but I'm gonna make it a little bit more slant again. So get it inwards like that. And I'm just going to change its size a little like this. I'll be using the rectangle tool again, and I'll make one rectangle like this. Use the direct selection tool again, and I'll get a hold of this anchor point right here. And when this circle comes up, I'm just going to go ahead and also just round the edge off a little like that. I'm going to select these two shapes, come over here to this Pathfinder panel, and in the shape modes, I will be using this Unite button so that it gets converted into one single shape. Now I'll come over here and I'll use the direct selection tool and get a hold of this anchor point. And I'm going to make a slant on this anchor point as well. So similarly, I will be using the shift and the down arrow key to get a slant like that. And I'll do the same thing on the opposite anchor point as well by clicking onto shift and the arrow key like that. So we've got this. Now I'll be using the direct selection tool to select these two anchor points and round the edges off a little bit like that. So now I'll select this one and I'm going to make a copy. I'll right click on this, go to transform, reflect, and in this axis panel I will be using this vertical axis and clicking on copy. So you can see that the same image now becomes transformed into a mirror image. So I'm just going to drag this mirror image onto my document like that. I'm going to select these two, right click on this again, go to transform, reflect, and this time I'll be choosing the horizontal axis and click on copy. So once that's made, I'm just going to copy these two shapes on the downside like that as well. Okay. And now I'll be using the rectangle tool again. I'll zoom in a little bit more. I'm gonna go ahead and make one small rectangle like that. And I'm just going to round the edge, this one, like that. So this indicates that over here, like these two over here, this is again where a fold has to be made in order so that the packaging then gets closed. So I'm going to select this, right click on this, go to transform, reflect, and choose the vertical axis to make a copy. And I'm just going to drag this right over here like that. Now that we've got this, wait. Yeah, okay. I'm going to select these two. Right click on this again, go to transform, reflect, and I'll be choosing the horizontal axis to click on copy. So once the mirror image is made, I'm just going to drag this right here at the bottom as well. And now I'm going to select everything and I'm going to change the stroke weight to 5 points so that it's a lot easier for you all to see where all the folds and the cuts have to be made, and you get a really good idea that way. Okay. So now that we have made our template, I'm going to go ahead and also lock my layer so that when I add the graphics and the important information on the packaging, I do not accidentally move anything around in my template. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. I'm going to rename layer 2 to be content. Okay. So I'm going to add the mandalas first. So I'll click on Ctrl+O. So I had already saved these images from Google. So like whatever the images that I will be using to make my packaging template, I have already made and saved all these images from Google. Okay. So now I'm just going to drag my image onto my packaging template right here. And carefully just scale it bigger so that it fits onto my template. I'm just going to rotate it like this, a little like that. I have to be a little careful on how you want to, so that you get the right angle basically. Yeah. So I'm gonna drag it, let's see, here. Make this a little bit more bigger. Like that. So this looks good. I'm just going to make another copy out of the same thing on the back side as well. So I'll click on Alt and create like that. Now I'm going to select these two. Right click on this, go to Transform, Reflect, and click on the horizontal axis to create a copy. And I'm just going to drag these two right over here. I'm gonna make them centrally aligned like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna select this, click on Alt and bring it right here as well. I'm going to do this packaging a little different from the earlier template that I had made. This one, it'll be a little different, okay? But you can place the images however you want them to. It's up to you. So I'm just going to play around and see, like this looks pretty neat. Like that. Okay, so now that I've placed all my mandalas right here, I'm gonna go ahead and place other important information as well. So first thing, I'm gonna add the barcode. I'm gonna drag this image behind over here. I'm going to make this smaller, probably keep it here at the center. Wait. And the next image I'm going to open is, throw in the dustbin icon. Going to resize this as well. I'm going to place it right here. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to open up a new image now. The warning label of candles that, you know, that it should be kept away from fire or small kids, etc. Right? So you can get these images up on Google as well. So I'm just gonna place this right here. Make this a little bit more bigger. Like that. Okay. Let's see what else I have to add. Is that the ingredients used to make a candle. This as well. I'm just gonna drag this over here as well. Make this a little bit more bigger, like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna cross check and see. Okay, so you've got all the graphics actually that I needed. The only thing that I left to add is the text in my template, right? So I'm going to go ahead and also lock my content layer as well, so that when I add the text, I do not overlap any image or delete any image while writing down the texts, right? So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer again and rename layer 3 to be text. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to come over here first. I'm going to give my candle a particular name. So I'm going to type out the word Misty. And I'm going to increase the size to 150 points. Like that. I'm going to change the font as well to Gabriola. Like that. Here. I'm going to select this. Click on Alt. Bring it right here. Keep this one right here at the top as well, and the flap. Okay. Now I'll be adding the next text, which is 100% organic, and I'm going to decrease its size to 48 points. Place it right here below. I'm going to make a copy by clicking on Alt and get it right here as well. Make another copy by clicking on Alt, get it right here at the top as well. And now I'm going to add the net weight, which is 310 grams. 310 grams. I'm going to zoom in on this and probably just bring it here at the bottom. I'm going to select this, click on Alt, bring it right here, like that. Okay, and now for the last bit of information that I have to add, which is the MRP price and the batch number as well. So the MRP, I'm going to make it rupees 200. Batch number, I'm going to type out 102, like that. I'm going to bring this right here at the top like this. So the only thing that is left for me to do before I save my document is that I'm going to lock my text layer and unlock my content layer. And wait, I just have to resize these a little. Yeah. So I'm going to select all my mandala shapes like this. I'm going to add a drop shadow behind my mandala so that it gives a 3D look to my packaging. So I'm going to go to Effect, go to Stylize and click on Drop Shadow. So by default, my opacity will be 75%, but you can let it be the way it is or bring it down to 55% if you like, and click on OK. So this takes a little time, but there you go. If you look carefully, a drop shadow has been added right behind the text, right behind the image, like that. So what I'm going to do is now, I'm going to lock my layer again, and maybe I'll just add the same effect in my text as well, in these texts, which is stylized drop shadow. I'm going to just bring the opacity down to 35% and click on OK. And there you go. If you look carefully, a really thin drop shadow has been added behind my text, like that. So there you go. We have now successfully made our candle packaging template. Now the only thing that is left for me to do is to save my document. So to do that, I'll be going to File and clicking on Save As. So by default, my file name is going to be the same as my document name, which is Candle Packaging Template. And my Save As type is going to be Adobe Illustrator. I highly recommend that we save a file in this format so that in case if I want to make any further changes, I can easily do that by accessing my AI file. So once that's done, I can go ahead and click on Save and click on OK. So it takes a little time again for your document to be saved in an AI file, but once that's done, you can see that .ai comes in right in front of our document name. So that's it. I hope you found our video to be useful, and with a little practice you can make more such template for different products